Hey, David Bluesy here with another 3 for All, and this is 3 David Gilmour Licks from 2007. And David Gilmour is a complete guitar legend and one of my favorite players. Great tone, great feel, a lot of expression and emotion, and this kind of restraint when he plays, because he rarely ever just throws out some crazy lick. He always is very kind of selective and patient and very calm and mellow. There's a lot you can learn from somebody like David Gilmour, just a complete pioneer of prog music, a huge blues fan. And even though when you hear Pink Floyd, it doesn't sound like blues, it has this atmospheric, progressive sound. But a lot of what Gilmour plays is based around pentatonic and blues scale, licks and phrases and ideas. But in their tonality and their musical world, it doesn't sound like blues. It sounds like something else. It sounds like, Pink Floyd. The video footage and the licks from this lesson actually come from Gilmour's barn jams from around 2007. And the first example is really just a single note phrase. He's really just sliding, from G into A and then A into B. But it's the way he does it combined with, expressive vibrato that's really important. So here's the clip of him just playing two slid, single notes. So there you can see we're just sliding into that A note from G and then sliding A into B. Now all that's over A minor, right? So he's sliding from the flat 7 into the root and then the root into the ninth, that B note. And of course he's got a bunch of delay and stuff, kind of repeating behind him. But that's a very simple phrase. And then you might hear him do something like this. Now, one thing about Gilmour's phrasing and the way he kind of picks and hits things is he typically picks quietly until he either slides or bends. And then whenever he slides or bends, he'll pick a little bit harder and he'll accent that note. So let me play that phrase again, and I'm only going to accent or pick harder when I bend or slide. Something like that. And you can hear those kind of peaks and valleys in the dynamics of what he plays. Here's another version of that to really drive this home, and it is kind of a signature, Gilmour phrase. And once again, we're still in A minor. And he's really just kind of hopping around and then slides into that E right there on the 17th fret. And it's really the slide and the pull off is when he picks a little bit harder to accent those two moves. Something like that. Next up, we're going to look at some of his expressive bending. And the next move, it's actually played over E flat major and then it moves to D minor. So we're doing that kind of half step, chord progression. And he's doing this. So the first part, it's all over E flat major. That part. And then it moves to D minor. Right? Something like that. But the important thing there is you're hearing the bend and he picks that first note. And then he basically mimics that same phrase without picking. So it's all fret hand, right? So it's tricky, to kind of keep that bend and that single note held, and then you bend it again without picking. There's another version of this, and this is over A minor, and it's something like this. And once again, it's over A minor, and it's the phrasing. Of course, he's playing out of, I guess you could think of that as position 3 of A minor pentatonic. right below shape 4 right there. And he's really just kind of playing around with that little 5-note area right there. But once again, it's kind of that touch and tone and finesse, you know, when he plays, because he's not picking everything, you know, super hard. It's just certain notes are kind of accented, certain notes are bent, and it's just the phrasing and the way he kind of put all that together. And here's another A minor phrase from this live footage, and it's definitely very bluesy, but it's played over that dreamlike, you know, kind of progressive jam, something like this. And it definitely has a very stinging, kind of biting, you know, sound. It almost reminds me of B.B. King a little bit at times, but it's over A minor, and we're starting with this. And there he's basically playing out of, you know, position 4 of A minor pentatonic and just this little bending phrase. And then move down to shape 3 or position 3 and you've got and I really like how he kind of sets up that final note too. It kind of reminds me of Albert Collins and B.B. King a little bit. So one more time there. Here's a bonus lick, and this didn't come from the 2007 footage. This actually came from the classic Live at Pompeii, you know, the Pink Floyd home video. And I tried to find another clip somewhere of him playing something like this, but I couldn't find one as good as this clip. So I just chose to use the clip from Live at Pompeii, which is probably going to lead to this video being flagged and tagged and taken down by some kind of Pink Floyd, you know, private investigator or whatever. But Gilmour loves soloing out of triads and partial chords and chord fingerings, and he's done it for years. You know, listen to the solo from Mother and Comfortably Numb, and there's a ton where you can hear him, you know, soloing out of little partial chords and chord fingerings. So this, he's actually hitting 4 different triads, but he's doing it melodically like this. And right there you can see we're doing F sharp and kind of an F sharp, you know, like sus4. Right? And then a little piece of E major right there. But he's doing it like that. And then a little piece of B major, technically, but he's doing it like that. And then a little piece of A major, but he's doing it like that. And obviously Gilmour's using the bar in this video, and I'm just using my fingers, you know, because I don't have a bar on my guitar. But I'm just emulating the sound that he got in this clip. Now, to give you a little better idea or a clear picture of what's going on there, I'm going to show you a couple different ways you can target these triads. So let's start with A minor first. And, you know, just think of A minor or A minor 7. And if we think of this little, you know, 3-note cluster of notes right there, you know, the G, the C, and the E, that's going to basically function as A minor 7. You know, that's the flat 7, the 3rd, and the 5th of A minor 7. Now if we fill that out, you know, there's your G, A, C, E, G, and then you can end on A up there if you want. And you can bend it, you can slide it. But the important thing there is you're kind of seeing that little triad. Now if you were playing over, say, A major or A major 7, you know, different tonality, you could basically relocate that right here. There's your E, A, and C sharp. Right? And then say if you're playing over A7, you could target, you know, a 7 triad. And there's A7 right there. You know, so you could find different ways, you know, kind of using those triads differently. That's going to wrap this episode of 3 for All with 3 David Gilmour licks from 2007. He's definitely a very influential and important and expressive and just interesting musician and guitarist to notice, because I mean, his legacy and his career has, you know, spanned so long, and you can go so far back and check out and kind of gain, you know, these different ideas and approaches and strategies for soloing, melodic, you know, playing and emotive playing and all these different things, because he's definitely just a fire of, you know, musical ideas and influence for sure. So I've talked to so many people that love Pink Floyd, or even if they don't like Pink Floyd, they love David Gilmour. You know, there's something about his musicianship and his approach and his playing, his tone. It's just, I don't know what it is, but you know, it's just very, very human, you know, and very expressive. And I think that's probably a big part of why he's so popular and so, you know, respected, is he literally sounds like a human being with a guitar. He doesn't sound like a machine or a robot or whatever, or a flamethrower or whatever. He sounds like a real human being with a heartbeat and soul. And so leave some feedback and some comments. Please subscribe to Late Night Lessons, and I'll be back before you know it with more content and material. Thank you.